Now, we have seen the Liberals go ahead of the NDP when it comes to the polling in the last little while, and which positions Del Duca as he's branded himself as the new leader of a brand new Liberal Party with new candidates, new policies, and a new vision. So that is to be determined on what the voters think come election day. An NDP leader is Andrea Horwath. It is her fourth election. She is campaigning hard and is very knowledgeable on issues, but it's to be seen if she can overcome being in third spot consistently throughout all the different polls that have been going on. So that's very important to note. We do have Del Duca live right now. We'll go momentarily to him and then we'll come right back and go over the morning news with you.
And by the way, let me also just say to Janet and to the entire team here at Strides, but first of all, thank you so much for welcoming us here this morning. But yes, absolutely. Here with you today. Let me also just say on behalf of the Ontario Liberal Party and on behalf of Ontarians, how grateful we are to you, Janet, and your entire team for the extraordinary work that you do day in and day out, dealing with some of the most difficult and challenging circumstances that individual Ontarians and their families are facing. So thank you for being on the front lines and for being incredible advocates and supports for the community all the way through. Thank you, Janet. And so as I was saying just a second ago, I listened closely to Doug Ford talk. I've watched him and his team as they've gone through this campaign so far. And it struck me that it seems like they don't think the last 4 years happened, in particular the past 2 years with COVID-19. People in this province have gone through so much, still are going through so much. Lives that have been tragically lost. We know this. Thousands of Ontarians who lost their lives to this virus. Incredible isolation and separation from our family and our friends. Small business owners who literally have gone through a very tough period of time. Some of them just clinging to keep their businesses open. Many who've lost their livelihoods, their dreams altogether. And we know from the sense of isolation, again, to being separated from family and friends, to loss of life tragically, to job loss and so much else, that mental health challenges, which were already in a really tough spot prior to the pandemic arriving, have only gotten dramatically worse. I suspect every single person here today either knows of a story firsthand, themselves, a family member, a friend, who has gone through a very difficult period. I think, for example, of my own daughters. They're in publicly funded schools in our home community of Woodbridge, one in grade 9, the other in grade 5. And to have witnessed what they went through and all of their friends went through over the past couple of years with schools opening and closing, trying to learn through a screen, feeling a little bit hopeless or a lot hopeless from time to time because they weren't able to socialize. Watching and listening to other parents who experienced changes in their kids' behavior, mental health challenges, anxiety spiking over the past couple of years. I can think of a very close friend of mine who has shared a story with us about her teenage daughter who prior to COVID was doing great and coming through COVID is now dealing with a severe mental health challenge around, in this particular case, an eating disorder, which we see on the rise as well. So this is just to say that even though we know Ontarians are resilient and strong, we also know that because of this pandemic in particular, that things are not okay for everyone right now. And I think it's irresponsible and frankly appalling that Doug Ford and his team want to sleepwalk through this campaign, just pretending that everyone is fine, just pretending that they can continue to dish out empty slogans and empty words and promises instead of realizing that the people.
That was Stephen Del Duca, the leader of the Liberal Party. And as you can see, he's doing a mental health announcement today. And his main target is against Doug Ford and his record in the last 4 years. He also made an announcement yesterday when it came to a $1 billion funding for reducing backlogs when it comes to operations and surgeries and very important procedures. As he says that the last 2 years, it created all the backlogs due to the pandemic, but also how the Ford government had managed it, according to the Liberal leader.